Okay. Let me turn off the music. Who are these kids? And what are they doing in my Waterline video? What is that? Okay. Interesting. I mean, if they're trying to connect with the player base, like these are the kids of the player base. These are literally the kids of the play. I don't know who they're trying to connect with, but like that's so far away from what the player base looks like. It's not even funny. What? Greetings, captains. In our fresh Waterline episode, we take a look at the new features that have been released since the previous episode, cover the changes that have occurred in our team, and share our development plans for world warships in the first half of 2023. Okay, let's start with the video, and then we dive into detail on everything. Take your kids to work day, right? Wow, is she really doing finger guns? She's really doing finger guns. Okay, whatever. Let's not be prejudiced towards the content. It might be interesting. Okay. In September 2022, the World Warships team set up shop at its new headquarters in Belgrade, Serbia. And I would like to not just offer you a look under the hood of our development process, but also invite you to join the team.
Greetings, captains.
Okay.
In today's episode of Waterline, we'll be taking a look back at some most recent ships we've released in the game, then go into some detail about exciting upcoming content.
Exciting. Show submarines.
Including Pan-American cruisers, bombers on American hybrid battleships, and even a destroyer with a catapult-launched aircraft. You'll also hear about a new feature.
What? 34 seconds into the video, I already hate it. Nice.
That will allow you to mount recommended upgrades with just one click, as well as the Airship escort temporary battle type. You'll learn about all this and much more if you stay with us and listen carefully.
I'll listen carefully for sure.
All the information we're about to share is preliminary and subject to change.
Okay. How about adding ships with guns?
Where's the line?
I'll tell you when to start.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Emil. Let's really go through some of the most recent milestones in our game.
An update 0.11.9.
Wait, what were the job titles?
Hello everyone, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Emil.
Live Operations Team Lead,
Let's really go through some of
YouTube
the most
Community
recent milestones in
Manager.
our game.
An update 0.11.9 submarines entered early access, and now American and German submarines are available for anyone to research in the tech tree.
Yeah, 6 submarines have been added to the game.
Moreover, Japanese light cruisers have been added.
Exactly. These ships have good firing range,
Oh boy.
decent concealment, and
Oh boy.
torpedoes with high damage and range.
They look like 14. Is this because there's been so many complaints lately about people saying that wargaming has completely lost touch with the community and they're like completely out of touch with what's going on? Is this like an attempt to seem like hip and trendy and hello fellow kids, how you doing? Because it's not working, man. This is just worse. This is just worse. This is just more out of touch. Like what? I know for a fact that the player base, it looks nothing like that. My biggest section, my biggest segment, biggest viewer segment is, I think, ages 35 to 44. That's the average, the biggest average age of viewers. Then it's 25 to 34, and after that it's like 45 to 54. Those are the 3 biggest ranges of viewers on my YouTube and on my Twitch. And I know for a fact that Wargaming themselves has said that the percentage of players under 18 is something like 0.3%. So I don't understand who they're trying to connect with by putting up some kids on the video, but it's just weird.
New ship types and branches are always nice. Do you know what Edgar and Admiral Shukov have in common? They are not just cool ships, they are super ships.
Speaking of super ships, Patri, Edgar, Clausewitz and Alarna are out of early access and available for everyone. Sekiryu and Admiral Ushakov took their place in early access.
In the next few minutes, we'll remind you of the dreaded Twilight Fleet and the Greek hero Destroyer Velos. What is the Battle Pass and how does it work? Where can you admire the beautiful new surf effect? How did we go all out for the holiday season? Stick around and find out.
Operation Saving Transylvania and Sunray in the Darkness returned to the game in the autumn, as well as Twilight Battle, in which players had the opportunity to stand at the helm of Twilight Fleet ships and try out their equipment with unique characteristics.
You also might have enjoyed our new cool adventures on our portal. For example, one of them allowed players to follow the warpath of Velos, the first Greek representative in our game.
Oh, that's...
Captains, we have added the Battle Pass.
The Battle Pass is designed to unite and organize activities around daily, weekly, monthly combat missions. You can play and earn Battle Pass point, fill the progress bar, and complete its levels to earn rewards.
Well, I mean, it's designed to make money, but obviously they don't say that, but it's designed to make
We
them
also
money.
got 5 updated maps in the game.
Did they just put, like, interns to do this? It's kind of...
The game received another major graphical update. HD textures have been added to 5 maps. A surf effect and dynamic reflections on all surfaces have also been added.
Art
as well as
department,
improved
man.
vegetation, models and animations for ship wakes. Our game looks better than ever. Praise the art department.
Hi, I'm Mike, Head of Franchise Services for World of Warships. We are currently looking for proactive, out-of-the-box thinkers who can bring fresh ideas and a unique perspective to the table. The World of Warships project is driven by a team of international developers who combine their talents with their passion for video games, resulting in World of Warships being a favorite hobby for millions all around the globe and having a flourishing community. If you're
Millions all around the globe. What? Millions all around the globe. What? Flourishing? Look, okay, I understand that they're obviously not gonna mention like negative things, but dude, there's a difference between flourishing and what's going on now and millions. Like, what? They count accounts, not active players. Even then, it sounds like... What? Almuton, thank you for the 3, but like... Millions? Dude, the biggest spike we've had in the game, I think all of 2022, was something like 28,000 on EU. That's the biggest, and that's the biggest server by far. All the other servers are worse. Millions? I mean, what? Flourishing. Also, flourishing, the trends are going down. That's...
interested in joining the World of Warships team in Belgrade, check the link in the description. We want you here.
They just called it Hobbit.
Next up, bombers on US hybrid battleships. as
Not
well
just million. Millions. S, plural. Like,
as new British submarines. Keep watching.
yay!
In the beginning of 2023, a bunch of American hybrids battleships released in early access. 3 new ships are awaiting players: Nebraska, Delaware, and Louisiana.
Their main batteries have good range, but not the highest damage per minute. They also have a squadron of dive bombers armed with HE bombs. But be aware of the large, lightly armored superstructure that makes up their hangar space. The next branch to be added to the World of Warships text tree is reserved for British submarines. The following ships will be added to the game: Undine, Sturdy, and Fresher.
You know, the new submarines have only one type of torpedoes: homing. They come in large number per salvo and have a fast reload, but low damage.
Briefly about what lies ahead. The new Airship Escort. Now there are more maps and a wider selection of ships. Commander Sa Shenbing. What are his talents? Unique upgrades for Tier 10 ships and new but familiar aircraft carriers coming to the game. Interested? Take a look.
Aircraft carriers as well?
Can we just change the name? We decided to choose a new name for the temporary battle type, Airship Escort. You will be able to participate in any ships of tiers 8 to 10.
It's not a secret that we regularly test the new mechanics in temporary battle types with the aim of adding them to the game permanently at a later date, and the Airship Escort is exactly the case. Therefore, if updated version of the mode performs well this year, it's very likely that Airship Escort will become our main candidate for adding to the random battles in the future, as well.
No! No, 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 no. This is, oh my lord. They're just showing how out of touch they are, again. No one wants it as a part of random battles. It's literally fun right now because it's a breath of fresh air. It's a completely separate game mode where you can play ships that aren't necessarily meta, aren't necessarily very good in randoms, but you can have fun in them in this game mode because it's not taken as seriously, it's more brawly, and it doesn't record any stats. It's a fun, more fun game mode than randoms. It's something else in between. But if you add it to random battles, then it doesn't work. You're gonna end up with like a terrible ship for this option. Like I queue up in a Yoshino or God forbid an Azuma or something, and you throw me into Airship Escort, and I can't push in, I can't tank, I can't torp, I can't do anything. I'm just completely useless. They don't understand what makes the game mode fun and why it's popular. How do they not understand? Why do you try to squeeze it into randoms? Not everything has to be added to random battles. Please stop. Like, I wish they would stop doing that. I wish they would stop adding it.
One of the possible game modes.
This year is not without its traditional Lunar New Year celebration. This time we've prepared the Age of Sajin Bin themed collection, the reward for completing which will be Sajin Bin himself, the new unique commander for Pan-Asian ships.
You will have special customization, talents, and enhanced skills for different types of ships. As we have announced in our development blog, we are beginning testing on new unique upgrades for tier 10 ships.
Which is good, because it's been ages since they did them.
Already in the closed testing, right, Stacey?
Yes, Emil, indeed.
From new upgrades to other new features. How are the previously removed aircraft?
Why do they try to come across as organic when it's so scripted? It's like, dude, you need to be a good actor to make something exceptionally scripted seem organic. If you're not, don't bother. It just becomes, like, this is just basic. Don't try to make scripted things appear organic if you're not a good actor. Just don't. It's fine to just allow it to be scripted. No.
Carriers doing. About them and much more, we'll tell you right now.
The old odd-numbered tier aircraft carriers are coming back to the testing ground, so they will be the aircraft carriers you're already familiar with from before this ship type was reworked, but with new distinct mechanics, aimed among other things at encouraging teamwork.
Right now, we are developing the minefields mechanic that can be laid by planes from these aircraft carriers, and we still expect their squadrons to have access to an aerial smoke generator, which will allow them to hide their light ships from the enemy.
This winter, we will be testing the change domination mode from...
Wait. They can't balance normal carriers for shit. They can't balance normal carriers for absolute shit. And now they're trying to add a completely new carrier mode into the game that makes minefields and smokes. What? This is the failed support carrier concept that they tried earlier with stun bombs, and it blew up in their face. They had this dented idea that they should allow carriers to have stun bombs, and what the stun bomb did was it increased the cooldown of your consumables, including the cooldown of your damage con. So if you got struck by a support carrier, your damage cooldown was something like 3-4 minutes. Like that was one of the ideas they floated, just to show how dented this idea is. And now they've decided that no, we should add smoke and minefields. One of the main complaints about carriers right now is that they make the gameplay so passive because of all the spotting they provide, and of course the ability to just overwhelmingly strike and kill a target. How on earth is adding something like a minefield, which sounds like an incredibly passive feature, it's just going to block you from moving forward, or alternatively smoking up your team, which is also going to block you. You can't move into a smoke smoke farm ship that's just farming you. So all of this just makes the problem worse. And you still haven't balanced the original carriers. And now you want to add another one that does worse things. Minefield the caps, right? Like, what are they doing? Wow, no. Like, just start by at least attempting to balance the things that are already in the game before you're adding more things into the game.
Battles. We'll revise the starting number of points at the beginning of battles and the number of points awarded
Smoke
to
the
one
enemy.
team and taken away from the other when destroying ships.
Dude, that was the
Changes are
griefing you can
designed to
do.
reduce the number of extreme situations when the battles go either too fast or too slow. We will test it in the super test and public test of the version 12.1, and if it shows good results, we will add it to the main server.
As we discussed in the previous episode of Waterline, we are now... As we discussed in the previous episode of Waterline, we are working on a new activity, collective combat missions.
Missions with special conditions that require combined effort of the whole server to complete it. They will be carried out like normal combat missions, but the objective will be common to all players of the server, and everyone participating will contribute to their progress. If the players complete the collective battle task on time, each player who participates will receive their reward.
In 2023, we are planning a major update of the game's sound system. The improvements will be released during the whole year, but now we are going to share with you our plans for the first half of the year. We are preparing new interactive music for submarines, which will correspond to their gameplay.
The sound of flying shells and aircraft will be updated. They will become more detailed and of higher quality. The sound of distant events will be improved. Shots, explosions that occur far away from the player will sound more realistic.
I lost. Sorry, I
To
kind of lost.
continue the conversation, what does the coming spring have in store for us? We're starting a geography lesson. Pan-American cruisers are getting into the game, new branch of destroyers is added to the European fleet, the first researchable branch
Wait,
of our...
wasn't the European DD supposed to be like radar and smoke? I think that was wasn't that really... Yeah. That's another thing that they never balanced, and it was always bad. And now they really want to add a smoke radar destroyer line to the game. Jesus. That's so toxic to deal with. And worse than that, it completely power creeps the fuck out of every Hydra destroyer in the game. Because Hydra will never have the range of radar, so smoke radar will always dumpster you. Yikes. Yeah, smoke and radar, yeah.
Our game's newest nations and other new ships. More about all of this right now.
As we already announced, close testing of Pan-American Cruisers branch will begin in update 12.0. The goal of developing this branch was to create a gameplay where combat instructions would play an important role.
The preferred combat range is medium, and things...
Who are they trying to appeal to with those segments? I still don't understand. Who are they trying to appeal to? I don't...
The surveillance radar and characteristics...
Are they trying to give the impression that WoW is so young and hip or something? It really isn't. Like, no. This is not a Zoomer game. Zoomer games, like, they lose focus and attention in the first minute of our battles. It takes too long. Like, hello?
Part consumable.
If you're not dropping out of the plane and fighting and killing ships and people in the first 30 seconds, you're not scoring with these guys. Like,
Will be
hello?
effective in engagements over key areas, as well as those in open water. Updated combat instructions encourage aggressive gameplay, rewarding constant firing and allowing you to use your ship's consumables more often. Additionally, as we mentioned in the last episode of Waterline,
Let's drop
in our
ships out of
development
the
blog,
plane.
there will be a second branch of European destroyers. Ships in the new branch will represent countries such as Turkey, Norway, Poland, Yugoslavia, and Greece. The branch is still in development, and the concept of the branch may change during testing scheduled for the first half of 2023.
The concept of these newcomers is artillery-focused destroyers equipped with smoke generators and surveillance radar at tier 8 to 10. This spring will
Artillery-focused destroyers with radar and smoke. Like, how do you not already see that as the biggest red flag of your life? Radar and smoke gunboats. Like, holy shit, how do you not see that as a gigantic red flag?
Also preparing a Spanish cruisers branch, the first full-fledged Spanish line in our game. It's too early to say something about the exact concepts and specs, but the most important feature will be the burst alternative fire mode. What's quite nice is the caliber of the guns of the branch will increase from 120mm to 254mm or Tier 10.
Two new superships will be entering close testing this spring: the Soviet supercruiser Novosibirsk and the British super battleship Devastation, which will continue the Petropavlovsk and Conqueror branches respectively.
You can also expect to
What?
Two new superships will be entering close testing this spring: the Soviet supercruiser Novosibirsk and the British super battleship Devastation, which will continue the Petropavlovsk and Conqueror branches respectively.
You can
Man, I really need to have a talk with the silent majority, because they sure seem to want different things from this game than what I want. I thought we already have a Super Conqueror. It's called St. Vincent, or maybe that's a Super Thunder, I don't know. But Super Petro as well? What? What the, like, you still can't balance Petro. You have to perma-ban it every clan battle season. Every competitive game mode you ever do, you have to permanently limit that ship ever since its release. Because you know it's busted. And then you want to make a super version of it?
You can also expect to meet Halford, a Fletcher-class destroyer whose main feature is a presence of an aircraft catapult. She will be the first hybrid destroyer in our game.
In our September 2021 message to the community, we promised to release West Virginia 44
Oh
in
my
2023.
god, they
We are now
fucking
happy
lost
to
it.
announce that she will enter close testing this spring.
In
Oh
our next
my
block,
God.
a Tier 9
Oh,
Japanese
shit.
premium battleship
Oh,
as the
shit.
new construction project at the dockyard.
Holy
a new
shit.
map, long awaited by commanders, and recommended
Oh,
upgrades
my
at the push
fucking
of
God.
one button. About all of this, right now.
Bro. Holy
Although
shit.
Admiral Schroeder is still under construction in the Hamburg shipyard. The next ship in Spring Dockyard is a Japanese premium Tier 9 battleship Daisen, a fast
I don't understand, Sergio.
moving battleship with a powerful artillery and torpedoes.
The battleship features an accurate main battery, but a small number of guns. The armament is also represented by torpedo tubes with high range and torpedo damage. The battleship has a very high cruising speed. Furthermore, we are working on a new feature that will allow you to enter new battles after your ship is destroyed without the need to wait until the battle ends.
Hey, that's
This
good.
way, you will be able to do more battles on your favorite ship during the
That's
game.
good. When you're grinding a ship, you don't have to wait for the game to end. That's actually good. And or if you're just testing some new ship, you just want to play a ship. You don't have to wait for it to end. You can just play it again. That's good.
Session, which will help you speed up your progress in the game.
Imagine Shimakaze's though. Holy shit. Shima's gonna die, run up the one line, die, instantly in the next battle, already running up the next one line. My god, the diffs, Shima diffs per minute are gonna skyrocket in 2023. Holy shit. That's gonna be incredible. Like, oh my god, we've never seen as many suicidal IGNDDs as we're gonna see now. Holy fuck. Like, these guys are gonna squeeze in like 10 Shima games in 20 minutes. That's gonna be incredible.
A special temporary battle type will also mark the 1st of April. We are not ready to share the details yet, but we can say
You know, the fact that they're adding it now, despite the fact that it's been asked for ages, I think it has to do with them, the matchmaker struggling. They need more people in the matchmaker to get more games. There's no other reason why they would be doing that. Because we've been asking for that for ages and they've ignored it. But now when the game is apparently flourishing and millions of people are loving it, now suddenly they need to boost the player count in the queue, in the matchmaker. This is something that's been asked for a long time and been ignored, and now all of a sudden it's a thing. I think it's absolutely, it comes down to them needing more people in the matchmaker. Because especially some servers like NA has struggled really hard with the matchmaker, not having enough players in the queue, and the matches that you get have been horrendously lopsided and terrible. Next would be merging servers. They've already done that though. They merged the new player queue on all servers. If you queue up as a new player, you will get thrown into like international servers, cross server things, and they also allowed server transfers. So there's already like a lot of things happening. But apparently it's flourishing though, thanks to their great decisions.
Say that it was inspired by one of the former tempering battles that appeared in the game before.
A new map, Seychelles, was announced to enter closed testing last summer. While developing it, we were inspired by the real geographical terrain of the Seychelles Islands. During testing, we had to make some changes to ensure the quality of the game experience and that the map was balanced. But there is still a clear link to the real Seychelles. In the spring of this year, we plan to release Seychelles on the main server.
Also, we plan to improve the equipment tab as well. We are going to add recommended upgrades for each ship as it's currently displayed in the Commander Skills tab, as well as a button in which, when clicked, will place the set of recommended upgrades on the ship similar to the existing button for the signals.
In the last episode of Waterline, we announced the changes in the notifications and settings tab which were to be released by the end of last year. Due to various circumstances, we had to postpone these improvements to this spring.
Let us remind you what exactly will be improved. Notifications for the players in the port will be updated. There are plenty number of improvements that will make them more systematic and informative. Secondly, we plan to redesign the settings interface by making them more user-friendly. The selected options will be stored on the server, and thanks to the improvements under the hood, we are able to easily add the new settings if it's necessary. And that's it. With you, Stacy
and Emil. Press the like button and subscribe.
And see you in the next Waterline.
A lot of things are so sussy about this. Someone mentioned a really good point about I can bet there will not be an increase in the number of ships. No, that's something we asked for when the subs first came out. This was something there was a lot of talk and a lot of begging about this. This was a video of all time for sure. This was a video of all time. That's something people asked for a lot when subs came out, was increasing the player count from 12 versus 12 to 15 versus 15, because you had this issue where if you had 2 subs and 4 DDs and a carrier, there was almost no surface ships to fight. Like the maps felt pretty empty and desolate. Wargaming, of course, the servers can't handle more than 12 versus 12. They're old, they're terrible, they're cheap. We already have desync issues. They can't handle more than that. So my problem is now, if they're adding these support CVs, they're probably going to be a separate class from the normal carriers. So are we going to have carrier and support carrier, plus then DDs and subs, and even less surface combat? Because I don't see how else they would do it. Because if they don't make it, if they make it so that the support CV is the same class as the CV, then they're going to compete for a spot in the matchmaker. And we already noticed, based on the fact that they're allowing you to quickly queue again, that they want more ships in the matchmaker. So you better believe they're going to make it a separate class, and you're going to have like double CV games. It seems so awful. Potential triple CV games. Yeah, I wonder if that could happen. We already have double CV games, like with the current set. And then if they're a separate class, will Wargaming allow you to queue up as a CV and a support CV in a division? Wow. So much awful shit potentially. "24 versus 24 when?" It's never gonna happen. Their servers can't handle it. Okay, anyway, let's start looking into this. I assume there's gonna be a lot more information on all of this here. A lot more information on all of this here. That was the teaser, and normally, like, the entry should make you hungry, but this just made me nauseous. What's already been done? Oh, this is this entire segment? Yeah, this entire segment. American-German submarines in the tech tree. After extensive testing, submarines arrived in early access and update 0.11.9 and became available for everyone to research. Yes, and the feedback regarding submarines has certainly been very vocal and very, very negative, and it has certainly been heavily, heavily ignored, which is impressive. Like, all the videos featuring submarines are the most downvoted vids in basically wargaming history. I've never seen so much animosity, so much disgust over an addition to the game as this entire edition. And they still just went ahead with it, and now they're like bragging about it. It's Japanese light cruisers, also tragic. These ships have a decent firing range. Dot. Is that? Oh no! Wow. Truly one of the lines of all time, man. Oh man, some poor bastard was told to write good things about the line. Jesus, that's the best. Oh my lord. These ships have a decent firing range. They do indeed. I absolutely agree. The high tier cruisers are armed with numerous main battery guns with long reload times. Yes, they are. Yes, truly eternal. They enjoy good concealment and are armed with long-range torpedoes that inflict heavy damage. Tier 7 and higher cruisers have torpedoes with turning mechanics. Wow, truly a line of all time. A ship line of all time. Super ships. Patri Edgar Clausewitz and Dalarna exited early access. Sakharya and Admiral Ushakov arrived. Joshua Humphreys and Kumling were released for closed testing. Updates saw the return of themed operation. Wow, this is. I hate that they're still recycling. When was the last time we got a new Halloween operation? They've been recycling that shit for ages now. They really don't care anymore. They've just full on recycling. I remember when they still made new. We could look forward to new things for Halloween. Now it's just recycle all the time. Thank you, Conspiracy. Velos Adventure. Very good looking camo thanks to the art department. Battle Pass. They already nerfed the shit out of Battle Pass. I never made a vid on that, but that's actually pretty impressive, like, how hard they... Like, we knew the idea with Battle Pass was. Like, the concept of when you add a Battle Pass to a game is get people used to paying for a thing and then grinding it all month. Get people used to always refreshing this every month, and then once people get used to it, they either increase the cost or reduce the rewards. We knew that was going to be the way it goes, but it's been like, this is like the second or third Battle Pass, and they already butchered it, didn't they? They already butchered it really hard. They limited the amount of rewards, I think, to what, 40? They made it so that the ship that you get at the end is a tech tree ship, not even a premium anymore. Nebraska is a tech tree ship that will come out in the future, and I think they even changed, like, they removed the free dismounting. There was a free dismounting for dubs or something, or was there a discount for discount? They already downgraded everything about the Battle Pass except the cost. The cost is still exactly the same. So we knew this was gonna happen. We knew, like, this was a bait and switch kind of tactic. Like, the first Battle Pass seems pretty good, and then it's gonna be either cost increased or rewards decreased. But even I was surprised just how quickly they tore down the rewards. Like, it was so quickly. It was so quickly. The new Battle Pass gives less than before, significantly less than before. The new Battle Pass is much worse. And this is only the third. Like, I can't wait to see just how garbage they're gonna make this thing. So, obviously, this one has been torn down, and it's going down hard. Graphics update, yeah, that is nice. Graphics updates are always good. The art department is the team that is doing the heavy lifting here for sure. New Year celebrations. Festival update delivered loads of activities. Battle performance bonuses, new dockyard, counter clash, competitive, much more. Okay. Battle performance bonuses were added. And this is just the tokens, or certificates. Schroeder, garbage, renown, actually pretty good. Schroeder is one of the few dockyard ships I never bothered getting because it was so tragic. Eger died for Schroeder. Winter 2023. Oh boy. U.S. hybrid battleships. A branch of U.S. hybrid battleships is scheduled to arrive in early access first part. These new ships are or inbound. I've already seen clips of this, like some just hilariously dented stuff about these things. I mean, giving plane spotting to a battleship is just like... We've complained in the past that Wargaming is breaking apart the whole rock, paper, scissors things that made their ship successful and made it fun to play. And it's just getting worse with these because... Louisiana is so dented. Yeah, it's so dented. Because now, Battleship's weakness was it can't really spot undetected ships, so it needs some help in that. But now it can both spot and strike stealthy ships without any penalty to it at all. Like, the whole concept of concealment has just been flushed down the toilet by Wargaming with all these hybrids, all these planes, and all the submarines. It just... Plane spotting with minimum 12k drops with fires on top, yeah, it's just terrible. Like, it was supposed to be a team game back in the day, and that's kind of how the game worked back in the day. It was a team game. You needed cruisers for AA or consumable usage, you needed DDs for spotting, and you needed battleships for the fire support. That's how it used to be, but nowadays it's just like they're making these complete packages that just do everything themselves, and it's Yep. Squadron of bombers that can smash destroyers. Very, very cool. Well, it can smash anything, really. British submarines. Again, more of these. People are still in uproar about the earlier ones. The balancing is awful. The design is awful. People are still being shotgunned left, right, and center. Like, you haven't fixed any of the issues that people complained about. The fact that they're basically impossible to chase down and detect unless they suck. The fact that a good player can shotgun anyone they want. Like, the fact that the best ASW is Battleship ASW because they have ranged ASW. And the ship that is supposed to do well against them, like destroyers, are usually the most vulnerable trying to hunt them down. Like, there's so many issues that they still haven't resolved, but they're just churning out new ones. And they don't seem to care. In fact, now they're adding also... a 76mm secondary gun, and the Thrasher has a main gun that can be controlled that shoots sap shells. So this ship can literally, like, if you're low HP, the ship can surface and shoot you with sap and finish you off. So more and more going into the DD role here. Yep. Airship Escort, once again, a fantastic game mode, a lot of fun. Popular among players and received extremely positive feedback. Now we're getting ready to present this improved version. This is, of course, the problem with an eye on introducing them into the game on a permanent basis. If the updated mode performs well this year, Airship Escort will most likely be a prime candidate to be introduced into random battles in the future. And this is the big issue with the player queue dropping and the player numbers dropping. If there were more players in this game, there would be no problem in having this as a separate game mode. But Wargaming is already clearly seeing that the queue is struggling, the player count is struggling, and now they're going to try to squeeze this game mode into random battles to drive all that popularity into random battles. And it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. Like, the whole thing that makes Airship Escort fun is the ability to play off-meta ships, have fun in the game mode, not care too much. It doesn't record stats. You can play a bunch of ships you wouldn't normally play. You can do a lot of dumb things that you wouldn't normally do. You can go in there and brawl in a Yoshino. You can play your Preussens and GKs as much as you want. Like, you can play ships that generally suffer in random battles. And you can play them in this game mode. And game mode is short. It lasts about 10 minutes max. Then one of them reaches the goal and you go next battle. Everything fun about this game mode goes out the window if it's randoms, because you can no longer specifically pick the ship for it, and you can no longer select the game in particular either. You're just queuing up for a random battle, and you're hoping you get a game mode that fits your ship. If you don't, then you just suffer. Like, if I queue up in Slava, and I end up in Airship Escort, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna have a bad game now, and I wish it wasn't like this. And on the other hand, if I'm trying to get into this game mode, and then I get something like a standard battle, then I'm gonna be like, wow, well, I have a brawling ship, and everyone is gonna be sitting in spawn for 50 minutes. This is awful. So this is a combination of wargaming not understanding what makes the game mode popular, and also wargaming desperately trying to shore up the issues with the player queue. It's really sad. Like, and I can play a tier 9. I can level a tier 9 and have fun in Airship Escort, but then if it's in randoms, you'll throw me into super ships with my tier 9, and I'll just be crushed, and it's be like, wow, that was fun. Not. Like, just no. Lunar near Zabing. We've looked over him. He seems very interesting, especially on Yu Yang. New unique upgrades. There's a dev blog about them that I've already gone through. I'll throw that up at some point. New aircraft carrier branches. Oh my lord. Former carriers from uneven tiers were removed from the game during the rework of the carrying gameplay in update 0.8.0, and they already have the models designed, so there's no way they're not gonna try to find a way to squeeze those in, because they don't even need to do any work. The models are already created. They're just waiting for an opportunity to be squeezed in. This is 101 reusing assets, so it's obvious. Will be reintroduced later. We previously announced that we were going to elaborate their concept and plan to focus on their interaction with allies. However, based on testing results and feedback analysis, we have understood that new carrier branches should be able to deal some damage directly, even though it isn't their primary task in battle. Of course, they should, right? We mean that they will still be the carriers you're already familiar with, but with new mechanics that are more focused, among other things, on closer cooperation within teams. You know what had really good cooperation with teams? RTS carriers. Because you would have really strong AA. So you needed your team to focus fire AA ships, so you could actually go in and strike. You needed to fight near your team, so their AA helped you fight, win air fights. And you could spot someone to try to help get rid of some AA ship. Like, the old RTS carriers were extremely team focused, but then you removed them and you basically made them gods that didn't need to rely on their team at all. And now you're trying to re-add something that relies on teamwork again. We're currently working out the mechanics of minefields that can be deployed by aircraft for these carriers. Besides that, we still intend to provide the carrier squadrons with smoke generator to give them the ability to conceal allied ships from the enemy. Wow. You know, the dumbest thing here is going to be when you finally catch up to a carrier who's been torturing you the entire game, he's going to smoke up now. The carrier sitting in the corner, A10, you finally catch up to him and you start shooting him, he's gonna smoke up. He's gonna drop a smoke on top of himself, and if you don't have radar or Hydra, you're not gonna be able to do anything. And because he doesn't actually shoot his guns, he doesn't have a smoke firing penalty, so he can smoke himself up and then strike you from the smoke without you having any counterplay against him. This looks like a really promising future for sure. And minefields? Unless they give us some way of clearing them, or some way of detecting them early on, if it's undetectable minefields, no one is going to move anywhere. Why would you? You risk sailing into minefields. People are going to start the game by reversing. Because what if you accidentally sail into a minefield? Like, everything about this seems to just make the game worse. Like those basically concrete, but you bet they're gonna do minefield clearing. They're gonna put that on DDs. They're like, yeah, DDs don't have too much to do right now. They can stretch their attention to this as well. So DDs, you need to scout, cap, fight off enemy DDs, hunt down enemy submarines, and survive and avoid radars and avoid hydros and avoid any potential torpedoes aimed at the ships behind you. And you also need to go clear out the minefields for the team. Go get him, boy. go get him, boy. Oh, you need to dodge plane spotting as well. bro. And also minefields like BBDCP, DCP in general isn't already like everything about this just seems awful. I can see no upsides. I can see zero upsides to this. Mines won't affect subs. Oh, you better believe that submarines will somehow be immune to this shit. If they only work against submarines, now that would be a good thing. Underwater subs that only work against them, but like, how is this gonna be fun? This just makes the problem of carriers making gameplay passive worse. Like, we already have an issue in World Warships where carriers mean people have to play a lot more passive because of plane spotting and because of the strike power of the carrier. They add this, and you just play even more passive. Like, I push in, I finally catch some cruiser who's been farming me behind an island, I finally get vision of him, and then the carrier just lays a smoke screen on him and he farms me to death and there's nothing I can do. It's like, what? Or I try to push into a cap and then boom, I'm in a minefield. Like, what? It's... I don't see how this in any way enhances the gameplay. It just makes it worse. Like, if you're a CV... this is just off. And also, the thing that we spoke about earlier is, will they make this a separate class? In which case, can you end up with games with a carrier and a support carrier? So you have two CV games constantly. And will you, if they're different classes, will you be able to queue up in a division with a carrier and a support carrier? And we already know that wargaming for sure can't increase the number of players on servers from 12 versus 12. We asked it for with the submarines. So are we gonna have 12 versus 12 with like 2 subs, 4 DDs, and 2 carriers, and then you're left with what, 4 surface ships or some shit? 4 surface ships trying to survive? Like, there's just... everything about this seems awful. Everything about this seems awful. Changes domination. Yeah, changing the amount of points. They said that there was no issue with steamrolls. People complained about games being complete steamrolls, and Wargaming was like, oh no, there's no issue. And now they're changing the way points are distributed because of steamrolls. So, yeah, whatever. It's glad. These changes are aimed at eliminating extreme situations where battles are too long or too short. Extreme situations, very uncommon. They're extreme. They just happen multiple times per day. Very cool. I mean, it's a good change, but why not just admit from the start, yeah, this is a problem and we're going to look into it, instead deny, 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 oh, we're going to change it. New activity, global combat missions. Special conditions that require the joint effort of the entire server. They will be completely like typical combat, but will common for all players on the server, and every participant will make their contribution. Okay. Fair enough. In-game sound update. We're working on new interactive music for submarines that corresponds to the special gameplay of this type. Oh, is it going to be like monkey sounds? Like nature sounds? That would correspond with the special gameplay. Can they make a similar like monkey background noise for the carrier gameplay as well? That seems pretty good. Sounds of aircraft and flying shells will be updated. They will be more detailed and of higher quality. Sound of remote events, shots and explosions that are far from the player will sound more realistic. Okay. This seems good. These two. Imagine how much effort they put into subs though. Modeling the entire underwater world, all the new mechanics changes, all the ASW, modeling all the ASW, and now remaking all the sounds and everything. All that effort for something that the player base hates. Wow. A hybrid, Jesus. You know, this is just the first. This is just the first of a line. Kind of like Kearsarge. The first hybrid battleship, like this is how it starts, and then it just gets worse. And nowadays you got cruisers and BBs left, right, and center that have strike squadrons as well. Ise was first with Tone, yeah, I think those two. Kearsarge was the first American one. Okay. Testing of the Pan American Cruiser branch. This is the one that everyone hated. The one where they just made up the entire line and made up everything about it. They had, like, passionate fans made them a template of ships they could have created for this, and they ignored it and made up their own fantasy line instead. And this one will have the gimmick button on all of them, from tier 6 upwards. Yeah, reduces the ship's consumable cooldown. Second branch of European destroyers was announced in previous Waterline and development blog. What did I mention here? Oh yeah, shit, I looked at this. Wasn't like the tier 10 like a Mogador or something? Yeah, it's a Mogador. It's a Mogador with smoke and radar. Jesus. This one also was complete fantasy, wasn't it? Like, complete, like, nonsensical one. I think this one was complete fantasy as well. Let's see. The ships of New Land will represent shots countries at Turkey, Norway, Poland, Yugoslavia, and Greece. 6 ships will be added to the game: Mlevene, Stord, Grom, Split, Alambros, Katsonis, and Gdansk. Artillery destroyers equipped with smoke generators at tier 8 and 10, they will have access to surveillance radar. Besides that, all ships of the branch have engine boost. Their main guns can inflict good damage per salvo, and starting with tier 7, the ships enjoy flat trajectory ballistics, enable them to easily shoot accurately at long ranges. The torpedoes of all ships of the branch are fast, but the numbers per salvo is small. Compared to it, they inflict higher damage but have shorter range. Wide and narrow spread. Starting from tier 7, the new ships are fast, and from tier 8, they enjoy large HP pools. So, wait. Large HP pools, fast, smoke generator, artillery destroyer, surveillance radar, engine boost, good alpha damage, and flat trajectory ballistics. Wow. I for sure cannot see any issues with this concept at all. I for sure cannot see any issues. In fact, I'm looking forward to facing these ships. This will be so much fun for sure. It sounds like a USS Black with none of the downsides. No slow shells, no slow ship. Just giga fast, flat rail guns, radar, speed boost, everything. Very cool. Very cool. Banned, like, we can already add back here as a final sentence. Oh, and this line will be permanently banned from clan battles for all eternity, just like Ragnar and Smolark. You're welcome. Jesus. Spanish cruisers will be released. It will be the first full-fledged Spanish branch in the game. At the moment, it's still too early to speak of concepts, but their primary feature will be ability to fire a series of salvos, and the caliber will increase from 120 to 254 at tier 10. Okay. 2 new super ships, Novosibirsk and Devastation, will be put into the test in spring. They will continue the branches of Petro and Conqueror. It's funny that there's so much dumb shit in this Waterline, like so much absolutely bafflingly dumb shit in this devlog, that something as absurd as a super conch and a super petro isn't even the worst part. Like, Jesus. Devastation sounds cool though. Yeah, it's probably gonna be really cool to fight against as well. A super ship with super heal. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a super ship with super heal. A super BB with super heal. And you know for a fact they'll probably make it immune to citadels as well. Jesus. So super heals are based on percentage health. So the devastation is going to be able to heal like probably insane numbers. Woo. Whew. And the super Petro, because the normal Petro that's permabanned from every clan battle season is also in a really good state. Wow. Oh, funny buttons as well. Oh baby, funny button. Imagine Petro AP on burst. Oh baby. Div striking a battleship across the map. Oh man, I can't wait. Truly the game is flourishing. moving into a great direction right here. We're just jumping from dumb shit to dumb shit. Holy shit. Where's the good part? A hybrid destroyer. Valford, one of the Fletcher-class destroyers, will be released for close testing. Her primary feature is the availability of an aircraft catapult. She will be the first hybrid destroyer in our game. Hooray! And who the fuck asked for this? Who the fuck asked for this? Dude, a DD with a fighter squadron. We already have issues with hybrids playing like a carrier, not moving in and playing like a carrier. Are we now really gonna have DDs that not just they won't go in and cap or do anything? They're just gonna park behind some fucking island and send squadrons of planes because we needed more planes in the game or something? Like, finally a DD that can snipe from spawn too. Right? What the hell? Just one guy, thank you for the 10. Garulius, thank you for the sub. Halford only had one plane, it doesn't have anywhere to store extra planes. Are you trying to use historical accuracy or realism on wargaming? Nice try, bro. That only works when they're nerfing ships they don't like. In our message to the community published in September 2021, we promised to release West Virginia in 2023. We're now ready to confirm that the ship will be released for close testing this spring. Oh shit, long have we waited. Oh boy, here we go. New dockyard, Dyson. Okay. Casemate gun. Accurate main body guns. Torpedo launchers, yada yada yada. Okay. Odds the tier 10 Spanish cruiser is a Napoli clone? Probably very likely, isn't it? Some clone for sure. Their entire pan-European line was Pan-American? Pan-American, that's just Worcester clones, so... Repeated battle entry with same ship. We're working on an improvement that will allow players to enter battle with a ship that was just destroyed without having to wait till the previous battle concludes. This way you'll be able to fight more battles playing your favorite ship during a game session. This option should help speed up your game progress on your favorite ships. And the unmentioned part, which is the most important part, this will help our struggling matchmaker to have more players in queue. This is a good change. I think this is a good change. But yeah, we're gonna have the biggest speedrunning Shimas in the world, because they don't even have to wait for the ship to get out of the game now. But this is a pretty obvious reaction to player count. That's what it is. Because this is something people have asked for 7 years. Like, this has been asked for ever since the game came out. Like, hey, why do I have to wait until the end of the battle? Can't I just get my ship out instantly? And Wargaming have completely ignored all that feedback. But now when the numbers are dropping, now suddenly it's a priority, so. Good patch for bots. That is true. This is like the best patch in the world for bots, isn't it? Because they can just gun it down. Holy shit. I think the quality of gameplay is gonna drop even further. Actually, the quality of play is probably gonna drop quite a bit, because people are gonna just run it down so hard. That's probably why they have to change the way domination works as well. Because we already have issues with short games. But now we're gonna have bots running it down, and the player base knowing that there's no real penalty for them running it down, because they don't give a shit about the outcome or the stats or anything. Dude, it's gonna be so many people just running it down now. To an absolutely absurd level. Like, you thought the quality of gameplay was bad, now it's gonna be much, much worse. It's gonna be much, much worse. Whoa. Wow. April Fools, the first day of April will be highlighted by the special temporary battle type. That's apparently the bathtub thing, that they're just reusing the same bathtub thing that we used ages ago. The April Fools with the ducks in the bathtub. Apparently they teased that on the Russian stream. Right? People are just gonna run it down. You go fast. Seychelles was released for closed testing while developing. We were inspired by you. Okay, we had to introduce some changes. Yada yada yada. We plan to add the map to the live server this spring. Interesting. Could also be a fast repair only if you pay with doubloons. We'll see. Our work on improving user interaction and interface is ongoing. We plan to improve the equipment window. Recommended upgrades will be added for all ships, much like how commander skill windows currently displayed. I mean, this is probably a good thing because so many people are equipping so much dented stuff. But I have to wonder, how are they going to justify their awful balancing of equipment when they make this? Because I want to see on what ship are they going to, for example, on what ship are they going to recommend torpedo lookout system? Like on what ship are they going to recommend ship consumables mod? Like these two are basically a meme compared to concealment. And on what ships are they going to recommend AA or auxiliary besides like secondary ships? Like what cruiser are they going to recommend that on? That's also what I want to know. Like there's so many. And on what ships are they going to recommend AA mod? Yo, this is going to be... I'm actually looking forward to that because I want to see what ships are Wargaming going to pretend like those things are worth running on. Okay. Changes to notifications in the settings window. Okay, notification for players import, number improvements, okay. Settings menu, okay. Fair enough. Waterline. Wow. 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 Hey, mod Mino Booster Colbert, yeah, I wonder. Imagine replacing gunpowder on those ships, though. Oof. Torp detection for all BBs. Yep. Anyone? Thank you for the 24. Wait, that's an old. Why did replay come up now? Interesting. They really know how to get people excited for 2023. Man, that was a lot of shit. Like that really was. That was a big pile of dog shit, wasn't it? Like holy shit. That really was a lot of like just awful shit. Hybrid destroyers, more carriers, support carriers, more submarines, airship in randoms, super Petro, super Conqueror, being able to queue quickly, but then in return the player quality dropping even further, for sure, like guaranteed. Oh, the entire radar DD smoke branch. Wow, that was so much terrible. Everything, there was just so much terrible. Wow, minefields. But we have millions of players, by the way. Millions of players.